Good morning and welcome back to Rotten Rust Garage. This weekend I'm going to spend a good couple hours today on a brand new project I'm pretty excited about. A couple weeks ago, Killian told me, he sent me a link to a marketplace truck, and I of course reached out to the guy immediately, and 2 weeks ago went out and took a look at it. Doesn't run, of course. Last weekend went out and snagged it up, and this weekend I'm going to see if I can get it running and try and get it off of this trailer on its own power. So stick around, let's see what we can do with this joker. All right, so what do we got here? 1976 Club Cab D100, two-wheel drive flavor at the D, right? For the Dodge guys out there, and this is my first two-wheel drive Dodge, and you all know I've got several of these things hanging around, and this is an interesting truck. I think you're gonna like it. So let's take a minute and just walk around it, and then I'm gonna dive in and try and fire this thing up. This truck is a time capsule, so let me tell you a little bit more about it. So the first place to start, I think, is with the story behind the truck, which is pretty cool. Single owner up until it was purchased about 3 months ago by a pest control fella, really nice fella, and that's the guy I bought it from. He got a clean title in his name, and then I bought it from him. He never got it running. He says he tried to. He said he ordered a carburetor, but it was the wrong one. Don't know, Carter BBD, work on any of these engines. But that being said, he could not, they got this old carburetor to bark off once, but then it immediately died. Not a surprise. But I think this thing, I checked it, it does turn over, and we snagged it up on the trailer to get it back home, and that was a bit of an ordeal. So here's a clip of that. I'm really glad we're using it. What? That's our problem.
Yeah.
Wait, I got the clutch in.
Yeah, you got the clutch in, but the back's not spinning. Let's see, yeah, this other back one's dragging, and it was rolling the other day. Oh boy.
Try and like let it out and see if it breaks it as you're going back. Oh, parking brake.
Parking brake.
That's a good parking brake.
I've never seen one work. Oh, we're rolling now, look at that. What we got? How's your tire looking back there?
It's not gonna hit it.
Okay. Hold the brake.
Hey, parking brake works.
That's all we got.
Alright, you
I'm gonna try and pull that chain tighter.
We can't.
Yeah.
Parking brake is on, and you got it chalked, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm strapped. Okay, you can go ahead. You should be able to release the brake, son. Damn, this is a long way. Brake on? Yes, sir.
that control arm.
Yep, just like I got on this side.
I don't know if you ever got a chance to appreciate it, but there are no holes cut in these doors.
I did see that, yeah. Which is a rarity, just like Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just trucks that nobody really messed with.
Well, but that's the funny part. Most of them, everyone I've ever seen, has been messed with unbelievably. Like,
It's hard to find
crap.
one that nobody has messed with.
Now, the reason we didn't try to get it fired up in his yard, well, because it wasn't his yard and we really didn't have permission. It was kind of a get in and get out thing. wasn't in the best place. I barely got my truck and trailer in there, and we were pulling it uphill onto the trailer. And it's a big old truck, and it weighs about 6,000 pounds. So we had to use a snatch block on the winch, and it did just fine, especially after we took the parking brake off. First parking brake I've ever seen work on any of these old trucks, and it was engaged, and boy, that put a load on the winch. And my son was steering, and he reached down and hit the parking brake release. All of a sudden, boop, right up onto the trailer. No big deal. So that was kind of funny. Interesting that the parking brake works. He said when we got it up on the trailer and he was holding the brakes, that the brakes felt good. We may have brakes on this thing. Now, she's been off the road for 13 years, and as the story goes, the fella that owned it, the original owner, ordered the truck, kept it in a garage, loved on it, and used it. And he got sick. He pulled it into his garage to work on something with it, got sick, truck never left the garage. Old fella passed away, and his wife talked to this fella I bought it from and said, hey, get this truck back on the road. Well, he's got too many things going on in his life. You know, you've all read the ads. And so he pushed it on down the road. So I picked this up for $1,000, and this thing is incredible. So let's take a little bit closer look at it. Now, the first thing that's gonna jump off the page to you, it's a club cab, obviously, as I already pointed out, but it's got the most 1970s truck cap on it that I think I've ever seen. And that thing is bulky and goofy looking. There's mixed opinions amongst my friends and my son and my wife, and whether or not it looks good or not. It's part of the original truck, so really high propensity to possibly keep it on there. Not sure yet if it's gonna stay or go. This truck would look so much better without it. Obviously black. All of the trim is on this entire vehicle, and everywhere around it, the badges, but we have named her Dottie because, well, there's only one thing missing. Yep, eBay, here I come. The grill's in fantastic shape. These bumperettes are an option, which is really cool. I've always liked those. I think they give it a better look on the front, a little bit meaner, and so that's a cool option to have. Obviously, it's an Adventurer. All four of the poverty caps are on this truck. Unbelievable. That at least like one wasn't missing. The turn signals, perfect condition, not cracked up, not broken. The running lights, perfect condition. The grill is just good. The paint's going away. This is the original paint on it. Now, little whiskey dent right there, and it slid this trim back a little bit, and so it hangs out into the door, but the door opens fine. Now, when I went to get it, this door would not open, and well, all I did was shoot a ton of WD-40 all over the lock mechanism, down through here, rolled the window down, shot down through there, and now, voila, opens and closes. Yes, you see the blue interior. We'll get to that here in a second. Interestingly, I have like 7 keys for this, none of which work. None for the door locks, not for the ignition. The ignition was spun. Get to that in a few minutes. And here you go. Cool option. Now I have 2 trucks with this kind of somewhat rare option, but it's locked, and you guessed it, gonna have to use the DeWalt master key on this. Bummer. Would love to have the factory key. Hopefully I can find that same kind of lock, but oof, I'm guessing probably not. We'll see. Wheels were white, so we'll fix that up, get some new tires on it. I think these are 1996 or so. Again, all your trim. There's your Adventurer. Taillight trim. The step bumper, it's taken a couple licks on each corner. Either that or a really big dude stepped in the middle and sunk it down. The truck cap is the hinge. Oh, hey, there's a friendly little spider. The hinge has left the building. You can see a little bit of daylight through there. This guy wants to build something up in here. The tailgate wouldn't open, but of course WD-40 up through here, and of course on the edges, like butter. Because of the cap, now you got a perfect bed. Now we've been back in here a little bit. We got some of the trash out, and we threw these floor mats from inside of the truck back here. Zero rust, original paint, no big dents in the wheel wells or the bed, anything. It's had a little bit in it. It had some shag carpet from like 1979 in here, orange and tan. It was pretty choice, but we went ahead and took it out of here. Probably need to drag a garden hose through there. Got some pretty cool wiring going on here. Some, wire nuts and whatnot, and a couple of cut wires, and I guess they had some mood lighting going on, but I think they tapped into these cab lights, which are kind of cool. Yeah, so that works. That's pretty cool. And again, just a solid rig. No rust. The only rust on this truck is you got a tiny bubble starting right here, and solid. And then we go around to the passenger side. I passed that up a little bit earlier. And we got a little bit bigger bubble over here, but we'll take care of this. That's no problem. Rockers are rocking. Frame still has paint on it. It's flaking off, but that's gonna take like 3 seconds. While we're under here, you may notice the brand new tailpipe and a single pipe. That pretty sweet looking little cannon muffler there. I'm anxious to hear what she sounds like. And then we're gonna get to some of the interesting things up here. So let's go ahead and jump inside real quick. Now you can tell that it was probably just the old man driving this mostly, because his fingernails have clawed the paint off, and he probably had his keys in his hand and grabbed the edge of the door a bunch, and you could see all of the little chips going down to the factory primer, maroon color. But here you go. Blue carpet, original. It's where the mat came out. Look at how pretty it is. And it's starting to pool up here, but it's a little damp. I'm sure the windshield leaks and the cowl, but there's no holes go underneath, and it's all rock solid. Let's see. It's got the split bench seat, so push this button in enough, and there you go. Jump seats are in it, all the trim in the back. I'm telling you folks, this is a time capsule. This is my stuff I put in here. Here's the fuel tank for it. Got that off the inner tubes. You're gonna need that in a little while. Door panels, not hacked in. A little worse for the wear here. He was, I guess his arms got dirty. There's all the fingers grabbing that thing. You can see all that chips. Where his elbow rubbed for many, many, many miles. So how many miles are on this thing? Well, she's got 6,458.5 miles. So your call, whether it's 106 or 206. I'm gonna guess 106. And they were probably short trips, every one of them. So I'm guessing this motor is pretty wore out, but let's check something else out that you might have already picked up on. Third pedal, nothing on the hump. You guessed her. 3 on the tree, baby. So this would be a A230 manual transmission. Automatic, or I'm sorry, AM radio. No air conditioning. And he added some sort of speed control device that has a screw with a wire tapped to the top of the gas pedal. I think when you got power on, you just pull this out and it just holds the gas pedal for you. No idea what this thing is. Can't read it. A little bit of evidence of ash in there, but it doesn't smell terrible in here. Even when we first went to get it, it smelled pretty good. Seats are rough. They did some painting with white paint, and of course it got everywhere. But the problem is I can't find a kit that'll do a split bench seat. So I might have to get a normal kit and then take it to an upholstery shop and have them split it like these. That's a bummer, because these are pretty tore up, especially the one I'm sitting on. Crazy old steering wheel. I already had this apart. And I put a new ignition set in it, so this one actually doesn't just spin around. And a key actually works in it. It's like $15 on Amazon. And again, parking brake works. Pretty cool. And that's really it. I guess this is his, what the heck that is? Is that a lottery thing? I don't know. It's stuck to this very dusty shade. This girl's been off the road since 2013. Inside hood release. Already released. Let's go check out what's under the front of it. You're going to be shocked to learn. Hello, Lefty. Lefty. He's guarding everything out here. Hey, buddy. You're going to be shocked to learn that this venerable machine with the bird bath hood is a very, very, very crusty 318. We've crawled under it and looked, and when we first went and checked it out, there was a couple of pieces of evidence inside the cab. One of those things was an old fuel pump sitting there, and of course there's a, I don't think we can see it, but there's a new-ish one down in there. It's very loose and worn out belt. Alternator doesn't look bad, but who knows if it alternates. Hoses are still soft, but pretty, like they got kind of hot. The other piece of evidence we found in there that's not so good is core plugs. You know, some people call them freeze plugs, core plugs, whatever you want to call them. We found a pack of two, one was missing. And Killian crawled under here, and I'll see if I can in a little bit. And yep, there's a fresh one in the block. That's good. And then the one next to it, it looks like it's just about to rust all the way through. I'm afraid to touch it because it's going to just pop out. And of course, it's buried behind this manifold. So yeah, that's not going to be very good. You also may have noticed nothing here in this general area. That's where power steering would go. So he optioned this thing for all kinds of craziness. You know, the bumperettes, the Adventurer package, the 3 on the tree. I don't know if that was standard or not, but yeah, he decided not to have power steering. First time I've ever seen that in something from the 70s. No air conditioning. He probably figured it was good enough. No rust anywhere. A little bit of surface on the battery tray here. I'll get that taken care of quickly. Still see some paint there even. The core support, good to go. Just unbelievable. It's a time capsule. That may be the original box. I don't know. But maybe not. If it is, I need to get another one because that one's puked out. But I might have to borrow one from, you know, all kinds of drained out fuel down there. Now the fella told me that the problem with this thing is a carburetor. Well, I'm shocked. You know, it's a Carter BBD and it sat with, you know, ethanol based fuel. Yeah, that thing looks terrible. You can see it up under there. So we'll pop this thing off here, take a look at it. We'll shoot some juice down the app. Since I know it turns over, check the oil. Oil looks like it had been changed shortly before it was parked. It's just a little bit of dirt in it. It's full. Which is surprising because these valve covers have clearly been leaking for many, many years. And there's a whole lot of just grime on this, grease. Yeah, it needs a good pressure washing bath. But we can sort all that stuff out. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pop a spark plug out. Just take a look at how rich it's running, how lean it's running. And I'm probably going to just shoot some juice down the app. See if I can fire it off. I don't think it'll stay running. I'm going to set up an alternative fuel system off that new fuel pump. And then probably just swap that carburetor out because I've got another one inside that I rebuilt 2 weeks ago, shockingly. It's the one I pulled off the 77 Power Wagon. So I got that in there. I probably put it together wrong, but it's probably going to be better than this one. So let's give it a shot. All right, well, it's not ideal working from up on the trailer here, but it is what it is. I just really want to drive it off the trailer for its first drive, and then we'll really find out if the brakes are going to hold. Come flying off the back of this thing. But I know that the e-brake works, so at least I got that. Always just stall it too. All right, let me get this fuel line off of here. Ooh, it's rough. I'm gonna probably have to cut this thing. You know what? The quote-unquote new fuel pump, I'm thinking the old man put it on 13 years ago. Oh, it ain't coming off of there. Okay, I'll get this off here, get a little fuel system set up, and then I'm going to check a spark plug, pour a little bit down the throat, and let's just see what happens, folks. The wires are not chewed on. They just look very old. So we got spark and all that nonsense. So, all right, let's do it. While I'm here, might as well, oh, there we go, show you the oil. Look at how clean that is, like honey. Ooh, nice little drop. Yep, good to go there. I can see a new white filter. It just looks old, Purelator. I mean, it's got a lot of dust on it, but it doesn't seem to have been run too much. All right, got that line off. The other thing I'm gonna do is pour some gas down the gas tank. It doesn't feel like there's much in there. It might have evaporated, could be a bunch of crud. So I'm gonna put a couple gallons in there, get a clicky clack, attach it to the supply line to the fuel pump here, and get an old jug and just pump everything back out of that tank so we can make sure that thing's kind of clean. Let's just see what one looks like. Oh, these things, he had just put them in and probably done some sort of tune-up 13 years ago. Yeah, I guess you can probably see that. But I'm guessing this 318 is tired. Tired. But we got solutions for that too. So I'm just going to jam that plug back in and call it good. I'm going to assume every other one looks just like it. It's got a sway bar on it. I don't know at what point I lost my microphone. So hopefully I came through on some of those last two items. But it was hanging down by the ground. Let's see what we got going on here. Pull off of there. Get off of there. Stepping around on this trailer tongue with this big beast. Come on. Off you go. There you have it. Oh yeah, that thing looks pretty rough. It moves. Vacuum cap. Vacuum cap. That vacuum line is capped. The choke vacuum line appears to be there. It's dry, very, very dirty. Get some of this crap off of here. Oh yeah. Varnished up fuel. So the gaskets are probably leaking pretty good. Maybe the shaft of the blade here. Possibly leaking there. That looks pretty rough. Yeah, probably all kinds of issues with it, but that's no big deal. We'll just swap her on out. But first, let's see if it'll run. Now, I know most people might do this a little different. Pull out every single plug and put some lubricant down there because it hasn't run in a long time. Trying to get down this vent tube with some carb cleaner. And I think I'm also going to tighten down these 4 corner bolts. But I'm just going to spray some cleaner down in there. And none's going down this vent tube. That's kind of interesting. Get this. And the choke's full on. Oh, that thing is bad. I don't know if she'll run or not, but we're going to see. I was really kind of hoping to get some down that vent tube into here where the float is probably stuck. But it's easy on a Carter. You just got to pull this out. And I probably should do that before I even try to bark it off with this carburetor. So let me get a wrench, tighten these 4 bolts down, bust this thing free, clean off the needle and seat, and then we'll throw the battery on, see if anything catches on fire. Shouldn't, because it's not been hacked into. And then we'll see if she'll fire off. Look at that distributor cap. That thing is, oh, it's just a ton of grease on it, but it looks pretty ancient. Yeah, we're going to be changing that. Give her a proper tune-up. All right, let me get some wrenches, and let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, so all these nuts are very, very loose. Gasket's probably shot, but I'm going to go ahead and, oh, there we go, a little tighter. Throw a little tightening on these because we can't have that vacuum leak if we want it to bark off. Man, I do not have any room up on this trailer. This was probably a bad idea. I just knocked the camera over if you're wondering what just happened. Can't really get into this one too good. How about this one? Well, that one you can reach with a socket, but this will do. Give them a couple of tightens here and we'll call that good. All right. Let me put a different coil wire on it, clearly. It's orange, auto light. And then I was going to bust this one free. Let's see what we got going on there. Oh, that ain't even tight. Oof. Wow. So somebody's been in there messing. And you know what? Let's see. Let's get this guy off of here. Wait a second. There we go. It's not 9/16. Let's get this thing off of here. Let's check this brake juice too. There's a gasket. There's your needle and seat. Let's just shoot it with some carburetor cleaner. It's clear. Get some back in there. Get that maybe a little tighter than it was, huh? That was gonna make a mess of fuel everywhere, so good thing we checked that. Yeah, they're tightish enough. All right, the next thing is, let's see, go get a squirt bottle for gas and then connect it with the battery and see if anything catches on fire yet. Just thought I'd show you this. I just popped off the master cylinder cover and look at there. Now, I think though the front brake hoses are rock solid, so I might be able to apply the brakes once and then it's going to sit there until I disconnect them all and drain this out. But fluid looks dark. It's been sitting a long time, so anyhow, I'll top that up, go get some gas, put the cover back on, yada yada. Power's on, so do you have any, like, pull the headlights? Yep, they came on. Editor's note here, this part of the video got a little bit messed up because I was using the voice activated option of the GoPro. So telling it to start and telling it to stop, and it got out of sync with me. Probably my heavy Irish accent, you know. Yeah, that didn't work out. So I was recording when I thought I wasn't, and I wasn't recording when I thought I was. So I talked to a dead camera. So there's a whole bunch of non-narrated things with me trying to troubleshoot and figure out what is drawing all the current off of this battery and why the starter won't spin. Ran down a bunch of rabbit holes, figured it out, thought it was a starter relay. It wasn't. It was just a huge current draw. I think I got some of that, but anyway, maybe you'll understand it if I just let some of it play, but I got to cut a lot of that out. So back to the video.
I bet you if I turn the key enough.
It might, yeah. Probably gonna end up changing the starter today.
I'm talking to you, Mom.
All right, camera's coming on. GoPro, start recording. All right, we got 12.63 volts at the battery. So, nope, not yet. The other thing I'm gonna do is tighten down this negative cable. It's pretty rotted. I don't know if it's gonna move or not because it's very loose on there. Let me see if I can get that tighter. Okay, Kelly, give it one more try here. All right, keep the clutch in. I'm gonna jump it. You got the key on? Nothing. We got nothing. I think we got a bad, getting some sparks and that's it. Oh, I can really smell this battery. It's not happy. All right. This battery is not happy. You got the key on and the clutch in? Huh. Battery is sizzling. That's crazy. Turn it off. I think we got a ground somewhere. It's chewing down. I might have to try the starter relay, but I actually think the starter's frozen on this. The guy told me he got it to pop off, but I don't know about that because I've been hammering on that starter and it's doing nothing. Even if I jump across right here, I'm not getting any kind of starter click or nothing. Might be the relay, but jumping across should remove that possibility. So now, and every time we turn it on, the battery starts sizzling. Thinking on that one. I think we might have a problem with this ignition box as well, but that shouldn't stop it from turning over. Starter should be spinning. So might have to drop that thing out of there and grab another one. All right, I'm gonna start with cleaning off all the grounds, and I'm gonna swap out the starter relay. I'm gonna do a bunch of stupid stuff because I don't want to climb under here and change this starter, but I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna be running to the store, getting a starter, and changing the starter. So let me disconnect this battery again. Try that body ground, everything. What a mess this thing is. All right, wrong size. Good thing is that on this trailer deck, everything just rolls away. Oh boy, this thing is grimy. All right. Yeah, that was not a good ground at all. Okay, let's clean that off. Well, somewhere that washer hit the trailer. Now I gotta try and find it. Turn them on. Yeah, they came on. Oh, they're barely on right now. Go ahead again. Turn them on. Oh God. Hang on, leave them on a second. Yeah, stop. Turn them off. Something is really sucking the power out of this battery. Something is definitely not right. Headlights are barely coming on. I don't know that that's a bad starter. We got some electrical problem going on here. It is frying this battery, and we still got, you can hear the battery sizzling. We still got 12.5 volts on the battery, so it's not a bad battery. We got good grounds, good connections. Electrically, what else could it be? Huh. I can smell the hydrogen. Any bad fuses?
Doesn't look like it to me.
It's coming to which thing?
Is there a mess of wires under there?
Yeah, it's coming to this speed control thing. Yeah, best I can tell.
I was hoping it was a kill switch and it's not my problem.
This is some kind of FM stereo thing right here.
Yeah.
It's an antenna to get you to tune FM. This switch is connected to these wires right here. And they're all wrapped around this antenna, but they're coming over to this thing. And they're coming off from up under there. Two wires coming from over there. They all go over to this. And then they go off into outer space, which is probably towards that fuse box. You hacked into that wire. Uh-oh. I might have to dig into the electrical for a while. Let me think on it for a few. It's an electrical issue for sure. Dodge is not known for awesome wiring, but I don't see any other than that crap underneath of that FM radio booster. What else would be giving us fits? Let me get in there, son. I'm gonna be troubleshooting for a while, son. I don't think I'm gonna get her to pop off anytime soon. I might start having to hack out wiring. All right, team, something's sucking down the battery, and I'm gonna go with probably, this looks like an FM converter. There's a little switch right there, hidden up there with some nice house wire nuts. Runs back to this speed control, and a couple wires come off of it. Wrap around everything. They spliced into the brake light wire up here where the switch is for the brake lights. And then it comes down and goes back this way, and I have no earthly idea what has been done. But all I know is when we crank on it, actually all you gotta do is turn the key to the on position. Like if you try and turn the headlights on, they're real dim. There is a massive draw on the battery as soon as the key goes to the run position. So I'm going to nuke around with that for a little while. I suspect something is just dead shorted somewhere in this system. And I hope it's not in the dash, like the alternator gauge, the amp gauge. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to poke around for a little bit. I'll keep you updated. All right, I've been through the entire 15 wires of this electrical system. That speed controller, the FM tuner, they hacked into wires. I don't know. But there was definitely, with the key on, just in the on position, there was a pretty significant draw tearing this battery down. You could just watch the voltmeter dropping. So I went and disconnected some wire nuts, and I then cleaned all the battery terminals really good, because I'm tired of that sizzling sound, which is the warning that I don't have good contact. And I actually cleaned the plug end terminals, the cables themselves, which are pretty ratty. And I cleaned them out with one of these little howdy doody things, you know. Can you get it open? This guy. So now, of course, Killian's gone with his mom to the store. All right, let all that stuff roll away off the trailer, but let's. I also messed with that stupid switch under there and got it to the side where there was the least amount of draw, but listen now. There you go. So we do have a good starter. Thank goodness I didn't change that thing. Obviously we weren't getting any juice to it because I couldn't even, do the steel switch at the terminal down here at the starter relay, just right across the post there to make that connection. So now the other tell was like turn the headlights on. They were real dim and just barely glowing. So there was a draw. Let me go ahead and turn the key on one more time, not to start, but to run. All right, there's your run position. Let's come up here, and I'm not gonna be able to do this with one hand. Can you guys stay right there? And I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Let's check what our voltage draw is now with it in the run position. Nothing. That's awesome. So it was losing voltage somewhere. Now it's not. So anyway, wait for Killian to get back with his mom, and then we'll and see if she'll bark off. Cool. Bit down the throat here, and I don't know what it's going to do, but try and pop off or not. But let's go ahead and let's see if it starts pumping fuel up. First of all, get this rag out of the way. I don't know if it'll spark or not. Go ahead and clutch in and give it a shot. That means it's going to run. So let's see, did we get anything into that fuel filter? Not yet. We're going to have to keep on cranking. All right. So I guess the horn works. It's good because I had the steering column apart. All right, try it again. Wow, that sounds terrible. Lots of valve train noise. Wow. I think we got a bent push rod or bad lifters. Let's see if they pump up. Oh, that's terrible. Terrible valve train noise. Pump up, baby, come on. Oh man, that sounds awful. So I guess that carb isn't bad after all. Looks like there's some fuel in the fuel filter. All right, buddy, kill it. Wow, could you hear that lifter noise?
There's zero oil pressure.
Is there zero oil pressure?
Yeah.
Huh. Oh boy. From inside the cockpit, if you didn't hear that, zero oil pressure. That would explain the lifter noise. We got oil and no oil pressure. Bad oil pump. All right, well, let's think about it. Zero, huh? They always read low, but dang, zero is.
Well, this one don't move, so I don't know if it works.
Yeah, I guess that's a possibility, but I'm going to go ahead and believe that it is working because it sounds like it's got zero oil pressure. Oil pump's inside the oil pan. Yeah, it sounded real clacky, real, yeah. No oil pressure. No rod knock, just all those valves and lifters, mostly the lifters, just clacking, and that would do that without oil pressure. But why do you not have oil pressure? It ran long enough to build oil pressure, I think. Yeah, I mean, it could be a bad oil pressure gauge or the oil pressure sending unit back there. Let me see if
I'm willing to bet it's zero or close.
the wire is on the oil pressure sending unit, but it sounds like it's got no oil pressure though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the way it vibrates.
Well, it's just the clacking of unpumped up hydraulic lifters. So like I said, before we even try to fire it off, this engine is probably past its prime, judging from the grime all over it, the 100 or 206,000 miles. It very well could be 206,000 miles, but this thing sounds like it's done. The oil's clean in it. Should get something. And I guess I could pull the distributor and the oil pump drive and try to manually drive it. See if I could get it to pump up that way. But why wouldn't it do that anyway? Run it again for a minute. Just for a minute, and then I'll give you the kill sign if we need to. Go ahead.
Ready?
Yeah, clutch in. Zero oil pressure. What? All right, kill it. Yeah, this thing ain't doing anything with its oil.
Is there oil in it?
Yeah, it's I pulled the dipstick earlier and it had a bunch in it. Maybe that's why it looks so clean. It's not circulating through the engine. Well, this engine might be smoked. Oh Lord, it's way over full. That's nuts. It's like 2 quarts over full.
Well, I feel like that'd be the opposite of no oil.
Yeah. Well, we might be drowning it, but it still should be pumping oil up to the valve covers.
It doesn't sound like that.
No, it sounds... Yeah, this thing is... Holy smokes, it is showing about 3 or 4 quarts over full. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I can drain some oil out of it. I don't know what that's going to buy us, but I guess I can give it a shot. We're on a slight hill here, but if anything, the oil will be to that side of the pan, and so it might have even more in it than that, so we don't know. All right, let's think about it. Maybe I'll drain a little bit of oil out, but it just doesn't sound like that oil pump is getting anything. It could be clogged up, is one of the problems. The pickup tube at the bottom, it could be just that simple. Debris. Let's look inside, see if there's any oil up on the top. Evidence. Oh God, no, those valves are dry. Yeah, that's not good. I don't see any oil in there whatsoever. No signs. Yeah, it's not getting up to the top, son. All right. So there's the answer to your question. Yes, it will run. Not well. I suspect possibly the pickup tube is plugged. I have seen that happen before, partially at least, like debris, crap gets down in there, sludge, etc. Hard to say, but it definitely is not getting oil pressure up top. You could hear that very clearly. And I guess I could drop the oil pan, change out the oil pump, as well as the pickup tube, and just double check that that's cleared out. But then what damage is already done to this engine? I don't know. So I'm gonna think on that. It'd just be, if I'm gonna go to that length to drop the oil pan and do all that mess, I might just throw that 360 in there. It runs, it's bushed for a clutch, and while I'm there, may as well swap on the clutch on this thing. But I gotta get it off this trailer, so let me clean up my mess and get this thing off the trailer while I think on how I'm gonna do this, what my approach is gonna be. So back in a little bit. Well, I think I'm gonna call it for the day. I've got my plan together. I'm gonna grab that 360 and swap them out. I dug around for a little while, found my 360 motor mounts. I think I got some exhaust manifolds for a 360. Maybe over there. I gotta find those. And yeah, but I winched it off the trailer. But one last thing I'm gonna do here. Can I fire it up, clickety clackety, clickety clackety, till the rods start knocking? Because it's probably lost all of its oil clearance and all the bearings. 106, 206, 306,000 miles. Who knows? Maybe the oil screen's plugged up. Could be something simple, but I don't care. 360, you're gonna swap bad for good. So I'm gonna fire it up, jam it into what I think is reverse, up and towards me. Maybe I'll look on Google and ease the clutch out, see if I can back her in over there. Let's see what happens. Oh boy. Well, judging from that sound, she do not want to go into reverse. So let me try one more thing. See if I can get it into reverse. I'm guessing there's some adjustment issues here on the linkage. That didn't sound good. Let me see if I can get it in reverse and then fire it up and ease that clutch on out. I don't think that clutch is working so much, but let's try it. That should be reverse. Oh yeah. That clutch has left the building, friends. See that? Oh, you can't make this up, huh? Hope that starter's strong. Battery ain't very strong. I can't get it into reverse. It'll... Oh yeah. Those lifters have left the chat. But if I try and put it reverse, yeah. She done. I really would like to get it back another 14 feet. Hell, starter's got to come out anyway. Let's do it. That's kind of funny. Now we're going uphill. Reverse. Get her cut the way I want her to go. Oh, I'm going to run into Carl's CUDA. Now it's really going. It's trying to start. A couple more feet. Let's put a block back here so that we don't kill ourselves. Those brakes are working, folks. One more try. This is insane. Clutch is actually in right now. That'll work. Yeah, so we need a clutch anyway, and you can either drop a transmission or you can pull an engine. I'm gonna pull an engine and drop a transmission because the entire trailer is covered in trans fluid, so might need a gasket or two. Get all that old oil out, cut up a new gasket, throw one in there. That's gonna have to be a future episode though, and before I go, I will say when I stood back with that low sitting, not four-wheel drive thing kind of out here in the open, don't like that cap. It looks goofy. You tell me. You put it down in the comments. Cap, no cap. Right now, that's how I'm standing. The cap's too tall for a truck that sits that low. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks, and more to come on this. Get that 360 pulled out of the corner over there. It runs. Get this 318 pulled out of here. So we'll talk to you again soon. Have a great weekend. You know, technically it did run and drive. I'm just saying, technically it did run and drive. I got her done. Progress.